everyone, it's Sandy, and today I'm back with another Top 5 Wednesday video, and this week's topic is your top 5 side characters that deserve their own story. I'm just gonna jump right in, and starting at number 5 is Emery from Confess by Colleen Hoover. When Emery was first introduced, I was just like, yes, I love her. She's one of my favorite characters in this book. I loved her personality, and I loved how she always has Auburn's back. I think she's a really good friend. She doesn't appear in this book that often, but the scenes that she were in were some of my favorite scenes in this book. I also want to give a quick honorable mention to another Colleen Hoover side character that I was going to pick but decided not to. And those two characters actually are Eddie and Gavin from the Slam trilogy. Eddie and Gavin are a couple, and they're a couple right from the very beginning of the story, so that's not a spoiler. The reason why I didn't pick them is because the whole Slam trilogy is 3 books, so we do get like a lot of time getting to know their characters. Eddie and Gavin do play a pretty major role throughout the whole Slam trilogy, and so I felt like we did get quite a lot of scenes of them together and getting to know what they're like and seeing their relationship develop. But if Colleen Hoover ever decides to write a story revolving around Gavin and Eddie, I would for sure read it. So jumping back to Emery from Confess, we don't really know much about her. We know what she does for a living, but we really don't know what goes on in her life unless Auburn is around her, because this is told in Auburn's perspective and Emery is just a side character, obviously. But I would really like to know more about her as a character. So going in at number 4, I think Dawn from Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson deserves her own story. One of the main reasons why I really want Dawn to have her own side story is because there was a thing that happened at the end of the book that just wasn't resolved, and if we got a side story from Dawn's point of view, I'm hoping it gets resolved in her story. Also, if we get to read Dawn's story, I would really love to see more of her in a relationship with a certain character. If you read this book, you know. But I just love Since You've Been Gone. It's one of my favorite contemporary books, and I would really love to know more about Dawn. Coming in at number 3, I have Vita from Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. Vita is a really interesting character, especially when she was first introduced. I was a bit, suspicious of her and like what her plans are, what's going on in her mind, and just throughout the story I just grown to really appreciate her character. I would also really want to know more about Vita's past with her family and how she got involved with the Children's League, and especially since she does get a love interest in the 3rd book, I would want to know more about that because I think it's really cute. For number 2, I picked Haymitch from The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. When I first read The Hunger Games, I didn't really like Haymitch's character. I just thought he was a big meanie. I was in 8th grade when I read this. As I continued the trilogy and as I even read the books, I just came to really appreciate Haymitch's character and how important he is. He plays a really important role, and since Haymitch is a mentor, he did participate in The Hunger Games and he won. So I would really love to know his experience in The Hunger Games. I do know that in one of the books we get a tiny snippet of Haymitch in the games, and with the whole force field thing, that was super cool. I want to know more about how he survived throughout the games and just how his life was affected because of it. I also want to see some scenes of The Hunger Games where Haymitch and Katniss already know each other, and just seeing it in Haymitch's perspective. Basically The Hunger Games in Haymitch's perspective. Yeah, that would really be nice. And the number 1 side character that I think deserved their own story is Kenji from Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. Kenji is my favorite character throughout the Shatter Me trilogy. He is funny, and I just loved his friendship with Juliet, and I want to read more Kenji. I just want to read more Kenji because I love him. I love his sense of humor, and I miss that about Kenji, I miss that about Shatter Me in general because of Kenji. Kenji is the one that brings comedic relief. I just loved his personality, and I just want him to have his own story, perhaps even a love interest, because I want to root for Kenji and someone. I feel like Kenji deserves someone. When Fracture Me was about to be released, I honestly thought that it was going to be a novella about Kenji, but it wasn't. It was about Adam. I don't care about Adam. I care about Kenji, and I wanted to know more about him, but we didn't get that. So I would love it if Kenji had his own story. That is it for my Top 5 Wednesday video. Let me know some of your favorite side characters that you think deserve their own story, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!